All right, next up, we are going to go ahead and learn about the five basics. You'll see here on your screen, it says you can set PRs for interviews, but will they actually show up? I want to make sure we're clear on what the term PR means in our business. You're also going to see that on the script we were just learning. So PR in our business stands for personal recruit. However, that does not mean it's personal to you. In fact, we are never going to have you calling anybody that you personally know. I'm sure you can imagine why. It'd be pretty difficult to have a very professional conversation with your buddy, right? So when we say PR, we're referring to the people that were recommended by other people on our team. So again, you can set PRs for interviews all day long, but the question is, are those people actually going to show up? And there are a lot of things that you can do or not do on the phone that's going to impact how many of those people are actually making it to the time you set them for. So these five basic skills that we're about to cover are all going to help increase the percentage of PRs that actually show to these interviews. So a brief overview, we are going to dive in on each of these, of course, but we're going to talk about following the approach, building rapport, handling objections, urgency and scheduling, and then finally the firm up, that last section of the script. So number one, guys, follow the approach. It's probably the most simple of all simple basics, right? Most basic of all basics. So keep the script simple by simply reading it word for word. The most important thing on your screen and the most important thing in your notes, however, is to read super slowly. If you're taking some notes now, which you probably should be, then you're going to want to go ahead and highlight that, circle it, put stars around it, put arrows pointing towards it, bold it, whatever you need to do to remember. This is one of the most important things we're going to talk about today. In fact, out of these five basics, there's two little words of advice amongst these five basics. And if you were to just focus on two little hidden things in here, you're going to be getting really great results right out of the gate. And this is the first one. Read super slowly. And I'll tell you what that other one is when we get there. But the whole idea, you guys, is that the script has everything that you need and nothing that you don't. So trust the script. It might not feel natural to just read it word for word when you're first starting, but I promise you that myself and your manager would highly prefer that you almost feel like a robot on your first few days rather than trying to wing it on the script without any consistency there. All right, so get some consistency by simply reading it first, and then as you get more experience, you'll be able to kind of, have your own voice with that script once you become more comfortable with it. But for now, we're just reading it the way it is. So don't wing it on the phone. The reason for that, guys, is it just creates some questions and confusion. Questions are not a bad thing, but we're not really an answering service, right? It's not our job to be able to answer every question that comes up, and we certainly don't want anybody to be confused about the information we're sharing. So read slowly and just read the words on your script. Number two, building rapport. Just a reminder, the definition of rapport is that relationship or connection that makes communication really easy and establishes trust. So basically, this is the part of the script where you have the opportunity to connect with the person you're speaking with so that it doesn't feel like you're just talking at them. And here's some of the reasons why this part of the script matters so much, right? It helps show them that we care. We don't want to call people and have it feel like we're just talking at them, right? If we wanted a robot, an automated robot voice to just talk the script at them, we could probably hire some third-party service to do that for us. But we have you guys here in this position as real people to make calls to other real people. So be a person, right? And this is the part of the script to do that. We want them to feel like we care because we do. So when people feel like we care and we're actually having a conversation with them and not talking at them, that makes them feel more comfortable. When people are more comfortable, guys, it makes your own job easier. You're going to get less objections. You're going to schedule more people. Now, a few other notes on your screen. It also gives you the perfect opportunity in this part of the call to find what we call their, quote, hot button, or rather, their reason to show up for the interview. Maybe it's because they're sharing with you that they're a very busy college student, or maybe they're telling you they already have a job, right? Well, hey, that's a great reason to show up for the interview. Maybe this job is a better opportunity for them, or maybe they need something super flexible that could work around their athletic schedule, or their travel schedule, or their work schedule. All right, so this gives you the chance to identify some of those things you can share with them. Finally, it's going to improve your own communication and networking skills. But the last tip on your screen here is to ask 2 to 3 open-ended questions. So what I mean by that is these questions should be questions that cannot be answered with a simple yes or no. And this is going to help encourage that part of the script to be more conversational. So it's, for example, a much better question to ask, hey, what kind of experience do you have working with people? Right? What kind of experience do you have working with people? Versus, do you have any experience working with people? It's so much more conversational to ask them what as opposed to do you? Moving on here. Let's talk about handling objections. One thing I want to clarify on this is our definition of an objection when it comes to this part of our job is really any questions or any issues that can come up on the phone that might prevent you from scheduling an interview right then and there in that very same conversation. So even if someone tells you, hey, this is awesome, I'm super interested, but you caught me at a bad time, can I call you back? That's still an objection by our definition. And there are all kinds of things that come up on the phone. Luckily, we do have an objections document for you, which your manager should be able to give to you, that outlines all the questions that come up and exactly how to handle them. Now, to give you some advice on how to implement that script there, just make sure you're using the objection cycle. And I love this, you guys, because it extends beyond the work you do here. You can use this in your personal life, in your professional life, your life at school, right? The objection cycle. So what are we talking about? So step 1 and step 2 of the objection cycle are pretty self-explanatory. Compliment the question and then answer it. All right, hey, great question. Here's your answer. Step 3, you guys, is the key. This is what makes it a cycle. Step 3 is to then ask them a question to regain control of the conversation. So here's what I mean by that. If someone asks you a question and all you do is answer it and then leave it dead air with just the answer and then you're silent, the person you're talking to is going to have nothing else to say other than probably adding some other question. Again, guys, questions are not a bad thing, but I really want to reiterate that it is not your job to have the answer for every single question that can come up on the phone. Keep in mind that that is the manager's responsibility, and we want these people getting the answers to their question, of course, but we want them to get those answers with the right person at the right time and also in the right context, which would be an interview. So our job is just to get them connected with a manager. So if we didn't regain control with step 3 by asking them a question after we've answered their question, what kind of happens here is it turns into Q&A hour, right? Where they ask a question, you answer it. They ask a question, you answer it. Questions are not a bad thing. Questions mean that person is intelligent. It means they're interested, but we want to keep that call focused and driving that conversation towards the end goal of getting them scheduled for an interview. And of course, these people are not going to be able to book themselves for an interview. That's our job. So this is how we keep that conversation moving forward. If you're working on social media at all, if you're doing any social media messaging, then this is something you'll be implementing there as well. I know not everyone listening will be participating in that side of the work we do here, but if you are, keep this in mind for when you are working on social media too. Number 4, urgency in scheduling. Do you remember earlier when I said there's 2 most important things out of all the 5 basics, 2 little tips for you that are the most important things we're going to talk about today? This is the second one. So I'm going to let this sink in here. The more time that goes by between the phone call and the interview, the less likely this person is to show up. The more time that goes by between the phone call and the interview, the less likely they are to show. So what do we do with this information, right? What this means is we should be working very hard and being super focused on simply getting these people scheduled for the absolute soonest interview time possible. That's why in our script, we have it written where we ask them about what their schedule looks like for the rest of today as well as tomorrow. Because of course, we could schedule them for tomorrow, but if we can get them scheduled for a same day interview, that person is showing up. I promise you that. So if all you guys did was focus on those 2 biggest things I taught you today, the first one being pop quiz. Can anyone guess it? Read super slowly. All right, want to drive that home. The second one being this. Make sure you book them for the soonest time possible. If that's all you guys did and just ignored everything else I said, I promise you, you're going to get great results right out of the gate. So, how do we really implement this, right? I'm talking about getting them set for the soonest time possible, but how do we do that? Well, I could give you a lot of advice on that, but I'm going to keep it simple for now. The best advice I have in this part is to just offer one interview slot at a time. Only offer one interview slot at a time. The idea here, guys, is that people are natural procrastinators. And if you list off a whole bunch of interview times that they can choose from, then they're probably going to pick the latest time possible. So make sure you're only offering one at a time, right? It makes them lose that sense of motivation if it feels like we're overly available. That's kind of what we're doing here too. It's almost like playing a little hard to get, right? We don't want to seem that we have all these interviews and they could just pick any time they'd like, right? We want to seem busy because we are. We want to seem like these interviews fill up fast because they do. We're basically just helping them understand the bare basics of our business, which is we do operate on a first come, first considered basis. So it's going to be in their best interest that they pick the soonest time possible. So by doing this, you guys, you're really helping the people that you speak with, right? You're increasing their opportunity to be accepted for the job sooner, which means they can get paid sooner. There's a whole bunch of benefits to this for them and for you. Last topic I want to cover, guys, is a very simple one, which is that firm up section of the call. This is where we are double checking that we have their information correct and we're giving them the right way to show up for the interview. Best word of advice for you guys in this part, don't rush it, right? It might feel like you already got it in the bag because you already picked the time, you already have their email, right? Maybe depending on what part of the script we're talking about. But either way, don't rush this part. Make sure you're reading their name and email letter by letter. And I want to drive home the importance of that very last few parts of the script where you're making sure they know how to join the interview. Take your time reading that to them, right? Take your time. Don't fly through that section because if they feel like they didn't catch one part of it, maybe you flew past what time to join on the interview, that might be the reason they don't show up. If they're not feeling confident about joining that interview the right way at the right time in the right place, they might not join. Also, that very, very last line at the bottom where it says, hey, make sure to remind the manager you're coming recommended from so and so. That'll really help you stand out against some other applicants, but good luck, blah, blah, blah. We have that in the script to help, raise their confidence in their opportunity to earn the position. Because ideally, you would have sounded so impressive and so professional on the phone that these people you're talking to are like nervous to show up, right? Oh my God, dude, Madison was so impressive. There's no way I'm going to get this job, for example. So we have that in there for a reason, helps build their excitement and confidence in joining that interview.